Hi everyone, welcome to Football DNA. It gives me great pleasure today to introduce a former teammate of mine and an absolute top player, Mr. Dean Ashton. Dino, welcome to Football DNA, sir.
Pleasure.
Great to have you, sir. So we're going to talk about a little bit about your career and how you got on, and if we start with how you get into football. Everyone wants to know as a kid, playing football. Did you come through? I know you was at Crewe. Did you start in their academies, or did you work your way?
I did, but I guess I don't know whether it was late or not, but sort of joined when I was 11 or 12 from when I joined Crewe, and I just played school football, county football, and I was spotted actually by Steve Holland, who's the England assistant to Southgate at the moment. He spotted me playing for the county, came over, spoke to my dad, and said, "Oh, I think your boy's got real talent. He's a bit chunky, but..."
Nothing changed then.
He said, "But we'd love him to come down and trial at Crewe," and obviously I went there at 11, 12 years old and just sort of went right the way through, and personally I don't think I could have been anywhere better, because I think technically you improve so much at Crewe, especially under Dario Gradi and Steve Holland. It was very, very technical based, so every player that comes through is technically quite gifted because you work so much on it.
That's with the coaching, that goes a lot. I mean, we talk about this a lot on Football DNA, so the coaching, even as a kid, that's the exact way to get you right and get you technically gifted, I mean, I played with you and I know how good you was on the ball. Didn't do a lot of movement, so you couldn't do a lot of running and Crewe. But yeah, exactly what it says. And it goes, even you remember now, like from that age, you still remember the drills you did. And
yeah, I do. I mean, I think if I was to go down the coaching route, it would be something that I'd be adamant about putting into academies. Is doing lots and lots of technical work. I know that possession obviously is really important and being comfortable on the ball, but I think that it does start with being technically good. And we just used to do drills after drills after drills. Yeah. And it pays off in the end, like I said, because Crewe wanted to play football. Didn't want you to hit, didn't want the fullbacks hitting it down the line. Wanted you to, every throw-in had to be to feet. Couldn't throw it down the line. So everything you had to be good touch under pressure. And it just, it suited me perfectly. To be honest, like you say, I wasn't a big runner, but technically that was where my...
I remember playing against you. So your pathway was the academy there, and then you progressed. You was the first team. I remember playing. I think you were 17. And everyone was saying, "Get on this young kid. He's a good player." And I remember playing. I went, "He's no young kid. He's 32 at least." He looked a proper man even then. I think he even scored 2 that day against me. I'm going to get that up. I'm devastated. But yeah, so that was you. So you was in the first team at a young age, weren't you?
Yeah. I mean, I left school, and then I think I made my debut. So I left school in the summer. Made my debut when I was 16 in the November, so it was only a few months after leaving school that I was in the first team. But like you say, I was big then. I was 6 foot.
You looked at
I was 6 foot when I was sort of 16. So physically I could cope, but obviously technically I could cope because of all the work we'd done in the academy. I was then able to just progress and deal with being in the first team so young.
Yeah, I suppose it's different, isn't it? So if you've got physical attributes anyway. If you worked on your technique or not, like you say, I mean, I remember playing against you when he's going to be a player, that boy. 17 years of age, straight in the first team is incredible, really. You don't see that so much nowadays, do you? That's great. So from Crewe, did you play there a couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, I had a great first year, and there was quite a bit of interest from big clubs, and then I struggled for a couple of years where trying to live up to that hype when I initially got in when I was 17 was quite difficult because I wasn't a complete player at all. I didn't work particularly hard, and it was something that I had to work on my fitness levels and be physical. And once players find out what you're like as a player, then you've got to adjust. And I just found it hard for a couple of years. But then once I improved, I didn't really look back after that, and had a great couple of years before I left.
Scored a lot of goals there as well.
Yeah, towards the end as well, my goal ratio got a lot better because that was something that I did struggle with.
Is that something you worked on, you knew yourself, or the coach yourself at the time when, right, you need to improve on this?
I think technically I was always very good. Obviously worked on a lot of finishing anyway, but I think physically is where I had to improve if I wanted to go to the next level. That was what they were always on to me about, was how hard I had to work in and out of possession, a lot harder than I was actually working. As soon as I realised that, I just went from there, from Championship level to Premier League level, almost overnight. Once that clicked, how much harder I have to work.
It's good it clicks, because a lot of people don't click for it, you know. And so, I mean, if you're finishing, I mean, I've like I said, I work with Dean, and I know your finishing is like...
Took one in the face once.
I did take one.
Straight
It's a great save, mate. You don't even hurt. If you save it, you don't hurt. If it had gone in on the ricochet, it would have hurt, but I think I did it about 3 yards away, wasn't it? Like, that's why my teeth are like this now. No, your finish was, you know, up there with anyone I've played with. Like, I mean, you had no backlift, no nothing. Is this something you worked on as a kid, or was that just a natural thing?
I guess you've got to have a natural eye for it anyway. But you can improve by doing session after session after session, and especially weak foot. When I was younger, I played left wing when I was a kid.
Did you?
So I was always using my left foot anyway.
The biggest wing of all time.
And then just working on the weak foot, because I think it's, you know, you naturally get a feeling with your best foot anyway. But I think it's just so important to, you know, work on that weak foot. So then when the chance comes, you're not snatching at it. So I felt comfortable on either side, and that actually is a massive bonus then, because it's hard then for a defender and a goalkeeper.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I can hit it with both feet, if I can shift it to both sides and hit it.
And you always, I mean, we'll touch on it later on as well, but you take the ball so early. Like, you had no backlift. It was almost like, and I joked about it with you.
I was too stiff for a backlift.
But I joked about it earlier. You weren't like you was going everywhere. You just stayed still and let the ball come to you. And within a split second, it was a touch finish.
Yeah.
Either side. No, and it was so hard for a goalie to adapt to that and be set. As a goalie, you want to be set and you want to make a save. You couldn't do it. And it's a great attribute to have in it. And like I said, if you worked on that.
Yeah. No, the thing is, I really did know my strengths. I knew my strengths weren't to run channels. Yeah. Obviously, I would do it if I was asked to do it, but I knew that wasn't my strength. I knew my strength was within the width of the penalty box and anywhere within 30 yards. And I always think that some forwards especially take too long, and because chances don't come around that often to get your shots off to make half a yard. I'm more likely to score. That I would always think I'm more likely to score than maybe one of the other players, and that's maybe a selfish thing.
No, it makes sense as well, doesn't it?
As a forward, but I think that's how you've got to be. You've got to think I'm more likely to score, so how can I make a yard to get your shot off? You can't dawdle on the ball, which is why, like you say, when it did come in, I'd almost feel as if I knew what I wanted to do as it was coming in, rather than it coming in and then thinking what I'm going to do.
So you're already...
I'm sort of checking where the defender is, and then thinking, well, if I slip it this way, can I shoot? Because obviously being able to shoot with both feet, I'm either going to go that way or go that way to go that way, and then just get your shot off straight away. Yeah,
it makes sense. And that again, that's a natural thing, or is that working on that as well? Because there's certain drills you can do. I mean, hopefully we're going to get out there today and do a few anyway. And do a few drills. Is that something that you think about as a player? Does that just happen naturally?
I think it's really difficult to say whether some of it's got to be natural. Your awareness, I think, it can be a natural thing, especially when things are happening quick and you're under pressure and you've got a defender on your back. You've got to be able to see all around you as much as you can. I mean, Teddy Sheringham was the best by a mile at it.
Really?
He just when I got to West Ham, watched him train, because he had such good vision all around him. He'd just find himself unmarked all the time in space, and then pop it off and then find another bit of space.
It's an art, isn't it?
It is, yeah. But obviously you can work on it in drills. You know, if you're constantly doing drills where it's being played into your angles and you're able to look around, and you are going to improve on it. But a lot of it as well is when it does come in, can it be done quick, like a Jermaine Defoe? Yeah. Literally, it's like a shift and a hit almost in one movement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was going to touch on it later, but while we're on it now, did you learn a lot by, because I know when I sort of stepped up the levels, I left Walsall, went to West Ham, I had to sort of retrain myself, and I'd watch play, and everything was so much quicker. And then even from, I was in the Prem, West Ham like a couple of years in, and when I went to Spurs at the end of that, I had to retrain again. I'm 37 years of age, and I'm going, I can't get near a shot. You mentioned Defoe. It's like another level to, again, it was just, there was absolutely no backlift and pasture before you even set, so it's almost a case of not setting. Did you learn a lot? Do you learn a lot by watching these people? When you, like you said, I know you went to West Ham and you mentioned Teddy. Did you watch these on purpose and go, wow, I could learn a lot from that?
Yeah, I definitely didn't go to West Ham and think, well, here I am, they've paid $7 million for me, yeah, I've made it, sort of thing. I didn't think that at all. I got there and I was probably a bit like you.
Younger,
yeah, probably a bit like you. You're almost a little bit in awe of some of the players. You know, growing up watching Teddy play for England and Man United and admiring the way he plays, to then be able to train with him. I think you've got to make use of that, and you've got to take. If I can take tiny bits from a Craig Bellamy and take a little bit from even a Freddie Ljungberg who's played Arsenal, can I take something from him? Can I watch Teddy? And I improved so much just from watching Teddy, and I almost had to run less through watching Teddy, because he was showing me that I didn't have to do some of the longer runs that maybe weren't needed. All it took was maybe, you know, taking the defender away and then finding a bit of space and getting the ball. I improved so much when I watched him, especially.
That's amazing. That's a great insight as well. So let's reach. We'll go on West Ham as well and Crewe down the line. So after you left Crewe, you signed for Norwich.
Yeah.
Was that your? Where are you from? Is that your hometown?
No, I'm 20 minutes from Crewe originally.
So you're a Crewe boy.
Yeah.
So you grew up there. You grew up there. You moved to Norwich. Was that? How much was that for?
That was 3.2, I think.
Was it? So it's a great deal back then.
It was.
Back then for Norwich. So you're what age are you again?
I was 21.
So you're 21. You've come up from Crewe. Got Norwich for 3.2 mil. It's a good thing. I mean, how did that take some adjusting to, or did you just get into it, or did you not think about it? Being young, you possibly don't think about it as much.
I mean, you know what I'm like. I'm quite a quiet lad, aren't I? And it frightened me to death going from Crewe, where I've been there right from a kid and felt comfortable, knew everyone, to then just leave home and go down to a new club with players with bigger personalities, players that have played at a much higher level. I was frightened to death when I first got there.
Was they in the what league was they in when they took you? Was they in the Prem or was
it was.
Was it the Premier League?
Second half of their Premier League season.
Wow.
So obviously, getting to play in the Premier League as well.
Brilliant.
But I sort of just had a bit. I have got inner confidence, even though I'm quiet.
Yeah.
I feel like I back myself to do well, and I think the higher and the harder the game, I almost feel as if I'll play better, and I don't know why that is, but I feel as if I can perform even when the game's most difficult. Even though that first game we were away at Villa and biggest pitch in the world, that not ideal for me. I was Norwich, the way they used to warm up before games was totally different to Crewe. We actually did some running and striding before the game. I was knackered.
So you're blowing?
Yeah. And then I think we got beat 3-0. I remember the guy I was marking, I think it was Ridgewell.
Right.
Got away from me, scored, just horrible debut. I was thinking, this is just ridiculous. This is way too hard.
Tough.
Yeah. And again, physically, I'm thinking I'm going to have to massively improve if I'm going to do well at this level.
Wow. So, you've had your debut, Norwich, tough debut. You've said you learned on your feet more or less from there. Did you work on a lot of stuff in training from there, or was it then just gradually just getting used to the games and going from there?
Yeah, I think obviously working technically anyway, but I thought technically I was there at that point, but physically I still wasn't. It was a massive jump for me to go from Crewe, where it wasn't all about Harry press. It was very much keep your shape. When we get it, it's passing. It's not running channels. It's not pressing. And then suddenly you go to a team that are at the bottom of the Premier League, fighting for their lives, and everyone's got to be at it. It just took me a couple of months to adjust to that and get my fitness levels up. But some of the Norwich lads would say I was awful. Didn't want to train. I never used to have to train on a Monday at Crewe, because I was so stiff and tight. They'd allow me to have Monday just to relax.
Would you not do that?
No, not at all. That's going. You're 21. You don't need a Monday off. Like this. That's the 35-year-old old pro. What?
I told you when you were 17, you're 32, it's about right.
Exactly, yeah. So once I adjusted to that, then playing in the Premier League is just brilliant. absolutely, but you're up against the best defenders. And then so you go from thinking you've got to improve technically, physically, then the next part, once you get to a Premier League level, is you've got to deal with the best defenders. How am I going to beat the best defenders? What have I got to do to beat him today? How am I going to beat Rio Ferdinand today? How am I going to get the best of him? How am I going to get the best of John Terry next week? So it then becomes more, not necessarily just about me, but what have I got to do to impact myself on these great defenders? Because if you don't, smart you out of the game.
Of course, yeah, absolutely. And like you mentioned, them play. So, I mean, I know it's sort of a few years ago, and now it's massive in the game now, like the analyst side of it. Did you used to watch them players, or is it just from like playing against them and you think, and you're learning on your feet in the game, or did you watch them before and go, right, he's good at that, I'm going to have to do something else?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit different once you get to the Premier League, because obviously everything is on telly. Yeah. So I've been watching them anyway, week in, week out, and thinking, and kind of know their strengths anyway without having to go to videos and maybe watch them. So it's then just trying to think, well, that's his strength, I've got to stay away from that. So if it's a John Terry, his strength is that he's strong, he's physical, but he's so well organised. Yeah. So it's then trying to separate myself from him and that organisation that he's got at the back, and try and find out pockets.
Get out of it,
Exactly, yeah. Right. Whereas Rio was more very much standoffish and didn't really want to get into a physical battle particularly, because he just read the game so well. Yeah. So I'd go, it'd come in from somebody and I'd think, great, and just go to touch it, and he'd just...
And you nick it?
Yeah, because I couldn't feel him there, and then suddenly he'd just come in, nick it, like a Rolls Royce, and zip it out like that.
Absolutely, go and play, start the attack.
So then it's like I'm trying to, whenever I can, I'm trying to get hold of him because get him into that physical battle, get him into sort of out of his comfort zone. So that's what it becomes, and I, once you learn that and play against them week in, week out, again you kind of improve and learn as a player what's going to work and what's not. And I just felt like I was only just going to get better and better and better.
Like you mentioned earlier, I always find it the bigger the game, the better I felt in the game. It's one of them things. I think if you're going to be a good player, I'm not saying I was at your level, whatever, but the bigger the standard of the game, the more you don't get up for it anymore. It's just you feel better, don't you? I don't know. It's hard to put your finger on it unless you played in them big games.
Yeah,
it's hard to put your finger on it. And you actually come to the fore. When you mention like Rio and John Terry, these are top players. Like I'm going to battle these and I can beat these and do stuff like that.
It's so easy to see why players raise their game for games like that, because we were probably the same, because you feel excited about it. You feel. You shouldn't. You should feel
excited
every single game.
You probably do, don't. But it does. There's something. Magic.
I mean, some players struggle with it, with the pressures of it, and they shrink when games get hard. And that's something you've got to cope with, is the pressure of 30 to 40,000 people in the stadium rather than seven or eight.
It's a great pressure.
Crewe.
See, 7 or 8 at Crewe, you can hear every word the same. 30,000 singing your names.
Yeah.
It's all raised.
Exactly. Yeah. But there's a pressure to that in terms of knowing you've got to appease the fans, and also there's a price tag on your head as well.
Yeah.
They're the little pressures that you feel as well.
So you said the price tag there. So you had, how many years did you have at Norwich after that?
Just the one.
Just the 1 year.
We got relegated that year on the last day when West Brom stayed up, and then I had half a season in the Championship, and then obviously West Ham. And
then West Ham Corinthian, Alan Pardew was the manager then. And I know I've got the insight obviously, but you came in. I mean, when you came in, it was a fantastic squad we had there at the time.
Yeah, it was incredible.
So I mean, you signed for 7 mil. 7 mil. And we had Teddy, we had some really good players in there. You was sort of like the icing on the cake as it was at the time. And I remember lads going, "This is a great signing for us." And as you came in, we had it was great. Did we go to Dubai? I think was the first trip in season trip, and that was your welcome to the lads, wasn't it? Really, it was a fantastic trip. That's for a whole new other story. So when you came in there, like I said, price tag on your heads, 7 mil was a lot of money back then. Did you feel like you had to justify that, or did you any more pressure from that at all?
Yeah, I think so. And again, like you said, when you went from West Ham to Tottenham, and a lot depends on who the players are in the squad at the time. But that was another jump to go from Norwich to West Ham. And but again, I think at that point I felt very confident in myself. And what was good was that all the strikers that were there at the time, I wasn't really like them, but then no one was really the same. So Bobby was a different type of player to Marlon, and Marlon was different to Teddy, and I was a little bit different. You know, everyone was a little bit different. So there wasn't necessarily that bad feeling that you can sometimes get when you go into clubs and you're very similar to another player. Exactly, yeah. And it didn't happen because it had a real sort of British core to the squad.
Didn't it? Yeah.
It was just the best. It was the best place to be. Yeah. And it wasn't hard to integrate. All that to welcome me in, and once you're in, it was fine.
So I mean, you really hit the ground running as well, didn't you? I mean, you got a few goals. Was that the? I'm right in saying that was the FA Cup run season. We got to the final.
It was, yeah. I didn't bother with the early rounds, Jim. I just
left the early rounds. Just came in. What did you carry? The quarter final? Just scored 2 at Man City.
I think so.
Yeah, that was incredible. I was on the bench for that. That's again another story. Paul should have played me. But yeah, I mean that was an incredible time, wasn't it? I mean, we were safe in the league at the time.
Yeah.
Doing quite well, high up in it, and the cup run was incredible.
It was special, yeah. And I think, like you said earlier, the group was brilliant. And it was just such a laugh. I know there was pressure there, but it never really felt it. Not until the final. It just because it was such a great bunch of lads and good players as well. I think underestimated.
Weren't it? Yeah, I think that.
At the time were underestimated. It was a really good squad. And
yeah, when you look at the firepower there as well, like you say, yourself, Simon, 7 million, Teddy, like the older statesman who's seen and done everything. You can only learn off him. He was a great lad as well when he around.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Marlon Airwood, Bobby Zamora. That's a lot of firepower, isn't it?
Yeah. We had good wingers as well. We had Yossi, was a fantastic player. Yeah. Matty Everton, brilliant deliverer of a cross. Yeah.
Matty was really underrated actually.
He was,
because he was a top player. Mate. I thought he was.
Yeah.
Whenever he played well, we played well. I used to feel.
It sounds silly to say that because every winger should be able to cross the ball well, but they don't. And
do you sort of form a partnership as well?
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
People, you sort of know your runs more. You play together.
Exactly. And Matty was great because he didn't mess around. He didn't really mess around. Once if he beat somebody, you knew it was coming in. He wasn't going to check back. And once he beat him, you knew he was going to whisk it in behind.
So then you can time your run off that.
Yeah. Whereas Yossi was a bit different because he used to come in.
Yeah.
And then,
but that about 4 chops, wasn't
he? Yeah, exactly.
Would you be doing run check? Yossi, any chance in there, son?
But you could bounce with him, off him,
so
and play,
and
so you got something a bit different that side. And then you had obviously Nige and Hayden had good engine in midfield, didn't they? And but for me, what really helped is that playing with a Marlon or a Bobby, guys that are physical, quick, can stretch defences, make good runs, makes my job a hell of a lot easier. Yeah. Opening up space in the middle of the park.
So you can just pick that little space.
Exactly, and maybe arrive a little bit later in the box as well.
Perfect.
If they've made the.
So I was going to ask that. So partnerships so important. I mean, we'll touch on that again in a minute. But obviously, you didn't have that many games with Bellamy. But I always think you and Craig was a fantastic bunch because he's so quick in stretching it. Like you said, you get a load of space in there and can arrive in the box from the wingers.
Yeah, I mean, sadly because of injury, obviously we didn't get to play very often. But when we did, it clicked.
Who's your favourite? Who's your favourite partner of all time? Is that too hard?
It's too hard because everyone I played with had their own strength that I could then use myself. So Leon McKenzie was again better than a lot of people thought, and great for me again because he's making good runs. He's being physical with the centre backs. He's stretching their team out, making things easy for me. Yeah. Same with Marlon. Same with Bobby. Same with Bellas. Yeah. Great runners in behind, in between defenders, taking people away. So then it can be cut back to me, or then it can be crossed to me in a bit of space, and it's them things that probably fans maybe don't appreciate, and maybe their goal scoring record at times wasn't probably what they wanted because they're making fantastic runs to open it up to other players.
Yeah, selfless really, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. For the team.
Obviously, then when I was playing, 2 up front was very popular, so you could actually make a partnership. Yeah. So, say with Marlon, I could flick it on knowing he'd get on the end of the runs, or I could flick it around the
Yeah.
corner, know he'd be there, or I could turn and play him in. You know, and it's been able to help. But players don't have that at the moment, do they? Playing one from.
No, it's definitely a lot of players just want on top. But I feel there's room. I love them partnerships up top. There's nothing better than, you know, the classic big man, little man sort of thing. You and Bellas was ideal for that. You know, I still think there's room for that in the game.
Yeah, I do.
You know, I definitely do. You know, it takes a good manager really to see the attributes. So obviously, Paz has brought you in, paying good money for you. He's going to think, right, he's going to work well with him, going to work well with him. So that's definitely an art as a manager to see that, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah. It's getting part, and like I said, because we were all different. He had 4 good strikers that could all do something different. So if he needed something different for certain games, then he could change it. But again, being able to build a partnership helps you stay in the team as well if it's working between 2 players. But I think you can even now you can still play 3 at the back and play 2 up front. Man City have done it at times with Aguero and Jesus. It can still work, but I don't know whether.
Do you think that's why it's evolved to 3 at the back? Because people want to get that 2 up the top, but they don't want to like get outdone in the midfield sort of thing.
I think it's protecting themselves in the middle of the park and not being overloaded in midfield where top players now. You like to De Bruyne and
you can't get the ball off
and Silva, and that just once they get in behind you midfield,
you forget about it.
You got
what are you going to do?
Exactly.
Nothing you can do, is
Exactly.
No, mate, you're right. So going well at West Ham, and just banging goals in, you had a great time, and I know how difficult this was for you now because obviously I did my knee at a similar sort of time. So we was both on the recovery chart together, which I agree with. So you went away with England. You got the call up for the England squad. Was it your first training?
Second day.
Second day of training. So you got the call up from the England camp. Bear in mind, can I just say as well on record? And I know I'm not just saying because Dean's here now. For me, and I've said it to a lot of people last. If you'd stay fit, and I hate even saying it that way. I hate saying it in front of you, but if you'd managed to stay fit and not had the injury. Honestly, I think you'd have had 80 to 90 caps now. Possibly England's number 9 going forward for time. So that's even harder. And I mean, to cope with it is testament to how you are as a man. But just so starting on that, your first call up for England, so you're doing the training trip, and the injury happens. How was it? What was it? Were you knockers challenge with Sean Ryan Phillips? I think that's on it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, I knew straight away that it was broke, and it's one of those things I didn't necessarily think, oh, how bad is this injury? I just thought, well, there's my England chance gone.
Right.
You know,
right. Because you'd have played in the game. I think
I would. Yeah, I think afterwards, I think McLaren said that I would have started the game. So yeah, it was a massive blow. But obviously at that time, you think this is your one and only chance to play for England, make an impression.
Yeah.
So I thought, that's going to be out the window. And then obviously once you realise about the injury and the extent of it, I still thought I'd be back. I did it in August. I still thought I'd be back for Christmas from what I was told. But just I had problems with it and issues with it. I had to have another operation. Ended up being 15 months that was out. I mean, you know how hard it is rehab anyway. But
it was
mentally, I think it's got to be the hardest thing that players have to go through.
Yeah, I agree. And it's a certain type of mindset to get through that. I mean, 15 months is a long time. I mean, I was 9 months with my knee, and we was rehabbing together at the time, weren't we? And I know how hard you worked to get fit. I mean, we was in the gym at 6 in the morning. We'd never been known before. Best shape I've ever been in. It was brilliant. Before or since. But so I know how hard you worked to do it. John Green was a massive part of that. He was physio. We weren't physio at the time, was he? He'd come away from West Ham at the time. Yeah. He was, because we knew him, he was such a good physio. We used to go and see John as well as the physios at the club.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know how hard you worked. And for me personally, I could never quite get back to that level. I was a lot older, and it was always, I couldn't have played 40 games a season after that, no matter how hard I worked for the knee. I mean, did you at any point, like during it and getting fit, you think, I'm in trouble here, I'm going to finish, or did you always think, I'm going to get back, I'm going to get to that level?
I felt I felt I was going to get back, and obviously you're just taking advice from physios, and if they're telling you you're going to get back and you'll be able to play, that's fine. But like you say, if you have a big injury, it takes something away. It was almost like I wasn't, even though I didn't think it at the time, there was no way I was ever going to get back quite to what I would have been without the injury, so before the injury and the way I was progressing, because it takes something away from you. Like I was saying about having 2 great feet to shoot with, I've gone from having a great left foot, great weak foot, striking the ball pure, curling the ball, whatever I wanted to do, to a left foot that doesn't bend properly, so therefore I couldn't strike it anymore. I had to curl every shot with my left foot. So that's taken something away of what I'm good at. And I used to jump off my left foot, and you know it's so difficult to get the power back in your calf when you've broken your ankle, and never really regained that, and so therefore I always had to jump with two. So again, I was great in the air, so it took that strength away. I was great with my weak foot, and it took that away. So even though I got back, and I was proud of myself to get back, and still played a really high level,
injury, didn't you?
I wasn't quite the same.
So no, it's horrible. It's not a nice place at all, is it?
No, you have to almost take yourself out of being a footballer and think, right, well, I'm not football at the moment. I'm this person. I'm a rehabber, and almost take yourself away from the training and just concentrate on this is what I do. It's almost like this is my job. Is rehab every day. It's horrible.
It's horrible, isn't it? It is. I know. Like I said before, we had 6 o'clock in the morning in the gym. It's not a nice place to be, is it? I quite enjoyed it in the end, but when I'm in the gym at the ground, then I'm watching the lads train, and that was dark times. I mean, especially for you, like, you know, right at the top of the tree. That's got to be really tough to take.
No, it is. Yeah. It's something you can't get over. I'll never get over it, but it's something you just got to live with, and you know, it's plenty of players get injured, and there's you know, having finished and looking at players, even now you see some players. I think Cazorla is at the moment struggling to get back. Will he get back ever again? There's other players that are going through the same thing, because all it takes is one moment to change your career and change your life, sort of thing.
So the injury was your ankle. I know it was your ankle.
Yeah.
Did you end up having it fused in the end?
I did, yeah, and it's the best thing I ever did.
Was it?
Yeah, because I was really struggling. So I couldn't walk anywhere. If we were going anywhere and we had to do any walking, just forget about it. Couldn't do it.
So you're thinking about your quality of life now?
Yeah.
With the kids?
Absolutely, yeah. And had it fused, brilliant. Not had a day's trouble with it since.
Really?
And yeah, exactly. It's been perfect since. Not perfect, but perfect for what I need to do.
One of my, I'd have to mention it, one of my favourite moments in football, got a few, but one of my favourite moments in football was Mark Noble's testimonial. And you scored that overhead kick. Oh my, I've never seen it. Do you know what, I was really emotional from it. Like, you've dealt with injury so well, and I've spoken to you, gone through it with you, and spoken to you. I think you've done remarkable, like, to just, you know, get on with your life, and you're doing fantastic with the radio and all that. TV now, it's great to see, but I was actually really emotional at Nose's testimonial. You've banged that overhead kick in. It's one of the best things I've seen. It's the only time I've celebrated to run the whole length of the pitch, and I remember just the feeling as well, like celebrating with you there, and just joining back and seeing the full crowds at Upton Park, and it was thinking, oh, this is amazing. It was an amazing time. Thank you for that. That was one of the best memories of all time.
Well, whatever it takes to get you to run up the other end.
That's the moment I've run ever.
No, I mean, you're right. That was actually really special to be able to come to something like that, to celebrate, you know, Nose's career at West Ham, and to do it at Upton Park as well. Like there's no away fans, is it? It's just a whole stadium full of West Ham fans to go there.
No one giving you abuse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but we were at Centre Parks up in Nottingham the night before with friends, and we sort of had a few drinks that night. Didn't get to bed till about 2. Woke up next morning. I said to my wife, I've gone, do without this. Feel a bit rough, my back's killing me.
Live on television.
I was thinking, could do without this. I mean, I've got to drive all the way down. I've got to drive all the way down. They'll stick me on the bench because they'll play Teddy and Paolo, and she's going, we don't have to go like this. And I'm going, no, go on, we'll make the effort. So we all went down, and I said to my boys, who obviously didn't get to see me play.
Yeah.
I said to them, look, I'll try my best to do something, have a good shot, or try and score some type of goal. So then to do something like that in front of them was just brilliant.
Really poignant moment for it. It was incredible. I loved it. Do you look back, like, I know you've got to do a little bit, so it's a harsh question to ask. Do you still look at games and I think, I could have really influenced that game, I could have been doing this now? And
yeah, but I reckon we all probably do look at that, and the thing is, it is a lot easier, isn't it, looking from the stand?
Being honest, I've got a lot better goalie since I retired. A lot better. I'd have done it, I'd have come back across. I never. But it is.
But yeah, I do. Yeah, you go, and that's I don't. Maybe because I'm 33, maybe when I get to 35, 36, and I think as well when players who I've played with and alongside, when they all retire, I think maybe then maybe won't feel the same. But while I'm still watching them, it still makes me feel like, well, I'd still be playing, and how well would I do in that team, or how well would I do there? I think that's.
I hate to say it, but you'd be worth. I mean, I look at Harry Kane. Harry Kane's a fantastic player. Similar sort of ages I worked with you at West Ham and him at Spurs. And if you look at the sort of levels, I mean, you and Harry, like you would have said you was better than Harry at the time. He's done incredible.
He's a fantastic player. Yeah.
He's worth 150 mil maybe now. I dread to think what you'd be worth. Do you know what I mean? Like you said before the injury, both footed, good in the air, good at hold up, score goals. Jeez, you'd be worth a few quid, mate. Sorry, pal. So the future. I mean, I know you're doing great on the TV, and I love watching. I mean, I always say, I said to you last night when we were speaking, the two people that I would have probably not put into TV and the radio was yourself and Danny Gabidon.
Yeah,
great lads, but like you said, you quiet, unassuming. Not really like recipe for the radio or the TV really, but probably the two people I enjoy listening to the most on there are you and him. Did you just go down that route and fall into that, or was that something
sort of? No, I mean, I think for a couple of years I did nothing because I just had to get my head round. I mean, I had to deal with having it fused. That takes a year to get over anyway.
Right.
So
does that take a year just in life in general?
Yeah. That took 6 months to actually walk. Once you have that done, it takes about 6 months to really properly walk, and then another 6 months to then get comfortable with that. So it's about a year to get over that properly, and then another year just mentally struggling a little. I did a little bit of TV, and then once I sort of felt comfortable with myself, I sort of looked at both the TV and radio work, and also the coaching side, and did a bit. And Norwich were great, allowed me to go in there. Go and watch sessions, work alongside some of the coaches and learn from them. But I just didn't feel comfortable almost being out on the pitch still. It was almost still a bit raw and just didn't feel comfortable with the coaching side of it. So again, that might be something that I can do when I'm a little bit older.
I'm going to say that, so I mean, got great input. I know we spoke about it a lot, like your insight into, especially the centre forward lines, going to help the centre halves as well, and the defence as well. Would you like to go down that route in the future? Would you like to? Because you'd be great at passing that knowledge on.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, again, like I am really young, so even if I left it another 4 or 5 years, I'd still be under 40. So I don't want to rush into it, and I've obviously been in, had a taste of it, didn't feel comfortable with it. I didn't want to push it. And I think if you're going to be a coach, you've got to go into it wholeheartedly and give the players absolutely everything. You can't go in and maybe not feel comfortable, which is the way I was feeling. But the TV and the radio work, just absolutely love it. Just love going to like live games, feeling the atmosphere, walking with the fans to the games, doing the TV, the radio work. It's.
You never see that side of things as a player, do you? No, you never mingle with the fans really. You're in your little bubble, took out of it, and you're shipped in. Do your job, it's great.
Back on
the bus and shipped off again. You kept out of it, so you enjoyed that side of things.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, the other day I went to Watford, walking with the fans there, walking with the fans out, talking to them, seeing that side.
People you're undercover, you got the cap on, you got the scarf on, or people are like, Dean Ashton, how you doing?
Not really, no. I mean, I obviously got a woolly hat on, but I don't particularly get recognised, and that's great then, because I can enjoy just chatting and actually getting insight from the fans. And I think you appreciate fans a lot more when you finish when you're playing, you're like,
absolutely,
you're on my back, and that sort of pestering me and stuff like that. Whereas actually, when you finish, you realise that how much they love the game, how knowledgeable a lot of them actually are, and it's great then being able to go to games like I am now and interact and see fans' views, and that helps me then with the radio and the TV as well.
Yeah, I bet it does. I mean, your insight to the game is brilliant. Like, if you're watching all the games, that can, if you go down the coach room in the future, that can only help you as well, because you're sort of analysing the games a lot more when you're doing that.
Absolutely, yeah, and tactically especially, you're trying to figure out things that you can then say on, whether it's the commentating or TV work, say half time or whatever it may be. Tactically, if then you're looking at the game, then obviously that can help that side of it. But then possibly if I do go down the coaching route in the future, hopefully that'll benefit me from that as well. But coaching is a totally different ball game, isn't it, from playing or even doing.
Yeah, it is different. I think you sort of you've got the insight. It's just getting it across. And it takes a little bit of time to get across your players. And the way you get across, but with your knowledge and the way you think, you'd be a great addition. Great addition to any coaching setup.
You're offering me a job?
I think I might have to. No, definitely. Listen, what a great insight into the mind of a top striker. I really enjoyed it, Dean.
No, it's a pleasure.
It's been great. It's been great being on there, and I hope everyone's enjoyed that. And you can take a bit from it. So I'd like to thank the main man, Dean Ashton, again. Thank you for coming, Dean.
Pleasure, mate.
You're a legend, son, top man. And we'll have to do that again soon.
Definitely, yeah.
Get you down on the coaching side. Brilliant. That was top.